Hello, future AFAA group fitness instructors. Have you been procrastinating and really have been thinking about becoming a group fitness instructor, but you didn't think that you'd be able to do it, or you're not confident in your testing abilities? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can definitely take and pass that exam because I did it in only 30 days. So, how did I do that? I'm here to tell you how I did that. So the first thing I did was set a deadline. You all, I'm a procrastinator. I've always been a procrastinator. I love to wait until the last minute, but I set a deadline of 30 days. That was my 2019 promise to myself. So set a deadline. It will force you to complete that exam so you don't waste money. Second thing is I got a book. I'm 36. I like books. So if you have the funds to spare, purchase a book for $55 with your package. I purchased the GFI Premium because I failed the ACE exam. I was scared, I was fearful, so I wanted the opportunity to retake if necessary. Hey, the great thing about this exam, 120 questions, 20 don't count, and you only need a 70% C. Okay, so you see I have my laptop here, so if you see me looking down, I'm reviewing my notes and I'm getting over a cold, so I have my tea here. All right, so what did I do to pass? First thing is I didn't reinvent the wheel. I looked at all the module quizzes and I took those first because I wanted to figure out what do I know, what I don't know. The things I don't know, I wanted to focus in first. And did I mention I'm an English teacher? I take no science classes. So science classes, science material, anatomy was so confusing. So I took the quizzes first to figure out, is there something I learned along the way that can help me? So after I took the quizzes, I figured out where I'm weakest at. Those weak areas, that's where I started first. I had to be engaged. I had a notebook, pen, paper, read each chapter, take notes on the bolded material, take notes on the things on the side because those may be on the test. Second thing, after I took those notes, I retook the quiz. I took them over and over until I got 100%. When I didn't get 100%, I looked at the incorrect questions and I made flashcards. The flashcards went from being this small to this big because there were so many concepts I didn't understand. After I focused in on my weakest areas, I looked at the areas that I was stronger in and I took those notes again, chapter by chapter, and I retook the quiz over and over until I got a 100%. On that material that I struggled in, again, I just went, retook it, studied my flashcards. Give me a moment, my laptop just went dead on me, so I have to go log back in. I wish I can talk and type at the same time, but I can't. All right, so after I retested and I made those flashcards, the next thing I did was schedule my test. I had to call PSI over the phone to schedule the test. Once I did that, I chose 2 p.m. Why? Because I needed to study that morning, okay? So testing date came and I went to PSI. If you've never taken that kind of exam, you cannot bring anything in the testing room. You have to go in with only your brain. All right. So after I signed up for the test, you can't study. You just have to wait until your name is called. You go in and they ask you some questions to make sure you know how to use the computer. Next, the test starts. Don't get discouraged by the first question because when I saw it, it looked different. What do you mean by the test looked different? It looks different from the modules. The modules will ask you something like, hey, what does ABCD mean? Okay, I know that. I can answer that. But the questions on the test are more situational. What do you mean by that? All right. Say you have a pregnant client who's 20 weeks. What position should you put that client in? Those are the type of questions that they will ask you. So know your facts, but be able to apply them. Something else, take your time, read carefully. Sometimes it may be 1 or 2 words that will trip you up. Another tip on test day, make sure if you have a question that you don't understand, you flag it. You can go back. Once you flag it and keep testing, you may find that there's a clue to that question that you're confused about. There may be a clue later on that will help you answer that concept. All right? And also, you have 2 hours to test. So take your time. There's no rush. You have those 2 hours. You only need a 70%, and there are 20 questions that you can get wrong. So if you have additional questions, I'm going to put a link in my bio to a couple of things. Some test taking tips. So if you are a little uneasy about taking tests, I can share some tips. I'm going to share these study tips that I have in my PowerPoint, and I'm also going to share some note-taking tips and any questions you may have about the exam that I can answer without giving spoilers, then I will do so. And thank you for watching this video.